Every secret has a beginning, and some secrets are so large, so deeply buried, that entire governments deny they ever existed. This is one of them. Welcome to Shadow Archives. Tonight, we open a file that was never meant to be found. Operation Gladio. To understand what Gladio was, we need to go back to 1945. The Second World War has just ended. Europe is in ruins, and a new fear is already taking shape. The Soviet Union, which had just helped defeat Nazi Germany, is now expanding. Country by country, Eastern Europe is falling behind the Iron Curtain, and Western intelligence services begin asking a question that keeps them awake at night. What happens if the Soviets invade? What happens if communist parties, already powerful in Italy, France, and Greece, take power from within? What do we do then? The answer was Gladio, and it was hidden from almost everyone. Beginning in the early 1950s, NATO, working closely with the CIA and British intelligence, began building secret armies inside Western Europe. Not foreign armies, domestic ones, made up of local citizens, former resistance fighters, ex-soldiers, carefully selected individuals who had one thing in common. They were willing to fight from the shadows. These were called stay-behind networks, and the idea was simple, if terrifying. If the Soviets invaded, these networks would not retreat. They would stay behind enemy lines, hidden with weapons caches already buried across the countryside. Their job was to sabotage, to assassinate, to resist, to make any Soviet occupation ungovernable. In Italy, the network was called Gladio, after the short Roman sword. It was run jointly by the CIA and Italian military intelligence, and it recruited thousands of operatives across the country. But here's where the story gets darker. Gladio was never just about defending against Soviet invasion, because the Soviets never invaded, and the networks, already trained and armed, began to be used for something else entirely. During the 1970s and 1980s, Italy descended into what became known as the Years of Lead, a period of bombings, assassinations, and political violence that killed hundreds of civilians. The Red Brigades, the Bologna massacre, the Piazza Fontana bombing. For decades, investigators blamed left-wing extremists, but when the truth began to emerge, slowly, painfully, through court cases and confessions, a different picture appeared. Some of the violence had been orchestrated by elements within Gladio itself. The strategy was called the strategy of tension. The goal, create enough fear and instability that the Italian public would demand a strong, right-wing government, that communism would be permanently defeated, not by Soviet invasion, but by domestic terror. In 1990, Italian Prime Minister Giulio Andreotti finally confirmed what investigators had long suspected. Gladio existed. It had operated in Italy for 4 decades, and it had never been subject to any democratic oversight whatsoever. The revelation detonated across Europe: Belgium, France, Germany, Greece, the Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland. One by one, governments began admitting that their countries, too, had secret stay-behind armies. Some had been dormant for years. Others, investigators suspected, had never really stopped. The European Parliament passed a resolution condemning Gladio and demanding a full investigation. NATO said nothing. The CIA said nothing. Most of the actual files remain classified to this day. What we are left with is a story that forces us to ask a question that has no comfortable answer. How much of what we think we know about our own history has been quietly managed by people we never voted for, never saw, and never knew existed? History is not always written by the victors. Sometimes it is written by the people who made sure the victors would win, and then made sure no one would ever know they were there. That is what this channel is for. The files that were never meant to be opened. Before you go, if this story moved you, hit the like or dislike button below. Subscribe and unlock the archives. Every video is a file that was never meant to be opened. Drop a comment. What year are you watching, and where in the world are you from? I'll see you in the next one.